Let me talk a little about clinical interviewing. When we talk about clinical interviewing, we're using a special definition of these words. Clinical is another word for psychological in this context. We're talking about an interview that is done by a counselor or therapist for the purpose of gathering information about a client. We're not talking about a job interview here, but instead a kind of evaluation of mental health. In this case, an initial evaluation, because usually it's the first one. When we do a clinical interview, the first thing we must do is quiet ourselves. Unfortunately, counselors and therapists and psychologists are not computers or robots. We have our own lives. Maybe you had a fight with your kids or your significant other this morning. Maybe you lost your keys. Maybe your bank account is about to be overdrawn. Maybe your supervisor is on your back about something. But all those thoughts and worries have to be turned off so that we can be fully present and listen. Learn to compartmentalize. Set your life aside for a few minutes and just be present. The next thing to keep in mind is that a clinical interview or initial evaluation is not the time that we solve the problem. First, we have to look at the problem and see it from all sides. Sometimes your client will come in very anxious and eager for you to give them advice. They will say, "Should I go or should I stay? Tell me what I should do right now." And you, being the helpful person that you are, will want to help. You will want to give them advice, but you have to resist that urge. You don't have all the facts yet. If you jump into giving advice right away, I guarantee it'll be a problem. Your client will say, "I already tried that," or "I don't think I'm ready yet," or "That's just what my mother said, and she always gives me bad advice." So don't do it. Don't fall in that trap. You can say something like, "That's a really good question, and I really want to help you figure it out. So tell me more about everything. When did this start? When is it worst? When is it better? What have you tried?" etc., etc. And then listen, and listen, and listen. Reflect their feelings. Be empathetic. Don't judge. Just listen. Try to understand where they're coming from. One thing that is really important in clinical interviewing, so that you can listen and understand fully, is to be aware of your own cultural ideas and biases. After you did the first assignment about culture, I hope it raised your awareness of your own cultural ideas. Lots of times, when people are a part of the majority culture, they tell me, "I don't have a culture," because they're not aware of how they're different from the rest of the world. But everybody has a culture. Do you think it's important for children to finish school or to go to work to help the family as soon as they're able to work? Do you think young people should get out of the house and get on their own as soon after 18 as they're able? Or do you think that young people, particularly young women, should live with their parents until they're married? Some people think that only young women who are bad girls would live on their own. Should you take care of your aging parents in your home? Or should you help them find the best assisted living facility around so that they and you can have your independence? All of these questions can help you look at the ideas and biases you have because of your culture. People come to therapy for lots of reasons. Sometimes they come because somebody made them come, the court, their spouse, or maybe their employer. They don't really want to change, and they don't think they need to change, but they're coming because they have to. These clients have to be treated very differently from clients who come seeking change. Much more empathic listening is required to build rapport so that they'll begin to see you as their ally. Sometimes people are thinking about change, but they're not sure yet. Maybe somebody has told them that they seem depressed or anxious, and they wonder if it might be true. So they come to you to help them figure out if they need to make a change or not. These people often respond well to taking some tests to help them see where they are. Sometimes people are distressed or unhappy with where they are in their life, and they're ready to change. Your job is to listen very closely so that you can help them figure out what is working and not working for them. Eventually, once you build some trust and confidence, you may be able to help them figure out what steps they may try next. This information is not in your clinical interviewing book, but I think it's important for helping you think about change. Prochaska and DiClemente have done a lot of work looking at how people change. Since you're probably already sick of hearing me talk, I found a couple of short videos of somebody else talking about these. I put the link on the next page.